Hey there. So the other day I woke up with this very unusual urge to send a message out in a video. And I met up with my usual barrage of what makes you think you should do that and what gives you the right and you're going to look silly and all of that stuff. And once I got over my little symphony of self doubt and self criticism, I thought, why the heck not? People post all the time. Why can't I join in the fun? So um, I decided to just listen and stop and just listen to what the urge was about. And I kept hearing this question: what is the invitation of our time? What is the invitation of our time? Because I have this belief that each of us on the planet right now, on some level, chose to be here for a reason. That we chose to be alive during this time for a reason. And I kept hearing this question: so what is it? What's the invitation? Why are we here? Why have we chosen to be here right now? And the answer I kept hearing was unity. 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 And I saw all of these massive forces of division, divisiveness. I saw them so clearly. These messages of us, them, wrong, right, hatred, fear, antagonism, conflict, fury, panic. And I felt this magnetic pull, this loud volume of forces around all of us that are wanting us to take sides, to attach to an identity, a national identity, a religious identity, a racial identity, a vaccine-related identity, a socioeconomic identity, but this whirlwind of forces, loud forces that are asking us to choose and to join in this fight and this conflict and to find a side somewhere and to hunker down. And I just had this very strong feeling. And then I saw each of us kind of being surrounded by these forces of pulling us to choose with our own sets of experiences and conditioning that kind of lead us into the fight. This is right. This is the place where I take a stand. This is I can't go for this. This is my, my place of fighting. And what I kept hearing was the invitation right now is unity consciousness. It's to stay above the fray of divisiveness and to listen to the call of connection. That actually we are all, as an entire species right now, we are all being asked to rise above the noise and to keep choosing peace and connection in our hearts, one at a time. And that's the image that I had, was that it's not up to any leader around us. Our leaders are absolutely in the center of the storm. They are too pulled by the corrupting forces of choosing us and them. They're too pulled into that. This is not the time when leaders are going to guide us to a higher state of consciousness. And I think the internet and our connection with each other at this moment in time on the planet is inviting each of us as individuals to take back that power, because we're all seeing the divisiveness all over the planet, all over the globe. We're watching it, and we're being invited individually, one at a time, to step forward in a different way and choose love. And what that means for me, because I started to think about my own struggles with this, is noticing where I get most pulled in my life into us, them thinking. Sometimes it's political stances. Sometimes it's just one-on-one where I get judgmental of individuals. And I kept thinking, so what is my invitation is to rise above those moments and see my fellow humanity, whether it's a group of people or an individual in front of me, to see them as another being, another spirit, another body trying to make sense of what's happening, trying to find grounding in the midst of this very tumultuous time. And so I guess that was the message I wanted to share, which is this invitation for each of us repeatedly in our own way to keep trying to choose connection, to find commonality, to take a stand, but with an open heart, to recognize that we're all in it together. So I'm thinking that some of you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, but in this one case, in this one instance, there is a right and a wrong. In this one place, I know there's a right and a wrong. And I respect that. But I would ask you to just notice the pull to be comfortable in a rightness, the pull to be comfortable in a security or a certainty, just to notice how strong that pull is, because I would venture to guess that there may not be one being on the planet, maybe an enlightened master, I don't know, but there may not be one human being on the planet right now who knows what's happening. That the forces at work, the cataclysm of events, the invitations, the suffering, the calls to a higher vibration are so complex and so magnificently overwhelming that nobody has the bearings right now. Nobody does. So again, the invitation, even with that little voice that says, but isn't this the one right thing? I know this is right, is to just notice that pull to be comfortable, to snuggle up to a rightness, and to breathe a little bit longer, and to see if we can each let go a little bit more in that moment, that this is just another human being or another positionality trying to make sense of this world, and I don't have to get in the fight so much. And then the other thing I was thinking that you might be thinking as you're hearing this is, isn't this just so sweet and so Pollyanna, and oh, the world is nice and all we have to do is choose love. So don't get me wrong, there are very powerful dark forces at work right now, or I could say lower vibrations, denser energies. They are at work, and we are being asked to see these denser energies in greater relief. You know, they're shining. The shadow right now is just blazing for us to see. It's these forces of division, hate, us, them, fight for your life, defend yourself, victimhood, perpetration, you know. And these are the seeds of violence. These are the seeds of violence, this denser, fear-based, hate-based energy. That is ignorance. That is it. That's the seed of all violence on the planet, is that mentality, that consciousness that would have us hate each other. So this is not a Pollyanna version of what's happening on the planet. The shadow is blazing. We are being asked to see the shadow, the suffering that we invoke in our world and that we impose upon one another. We're being asked to see it. The internet allows us to see it every day, whether we want to or not. And we are being asked to be a witness to the shadow and to step forward to transform it by choosing love and connection every single time in our own hearts. And that, I think, is a question that each of us have to toil with. How do we do that in every moment, or as many moments as we can, to choose connection in our own hearts? It doesn't mean we don't take a stand for what we believe in. Of course we take a stand and we show up, but can we show up with a sense of our common humanity? Can we see that humanity in each other and greet each other in that humanity first and foremost, and then speak from our hearts? So that is my invitation for all of us that came to me a few mornings ago. And I just want to express my gratitude to each of you for being on this journey in this time. It's a very courageous act to have chosen to be here on the planet at this time. And I salute you and I honor you. And none of what I've said is new. And it's not the first time this has been shared or the last. but it's my own little channeling of this message that keeps coming through to me. And with that, I say namaste and I send you all my love.